Good evening, everyone. Tonight we are going to make pizza. It's one of our favorite things to make down here at the farm, and it's a delicious recipe and actually a lot easier to make than you might think. We're going to use the bread maker to mix the dough just because I have a fence to fix, but you can easily mix it by hand if you like. So your first ingredient, we have 1.5 cups of warm water. So that's 1.5 cups of warm water. We have olive oil, about 4 tablespoons of that. I just eyeball the olive oil. 2, 3, 4. Doesn't have to be super exact. We also have about a teaspoon of parsley. Not a ton of parsley. You don't need a ton of parsley. We also have here about 1.5 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons of garlic powder. Love garlic powder. You're going to want about a teaspoon or a little more of salt. We use Himalayan pink salt. It doesn't really matter what salt you use. Any salt is fine. You can use kosher, you can use sea salt, use regular table salt if you like. About a tablespoon of just regular sugar. You can use honey instead if you like. I just use sugar. And then I like to take my black pepper shaker and just do 4 or 5 shakes or a little more of black pepper. It just kind of livens it up a little bit. So once you have those ingredients, you're going to want to add your flour. So we're going to do 4.5 cups. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a half. So after we've done that, we're going to want our yeast. I am using a quick rise yeast just because I'm using the bread maker. I do 2 teaspoons. Now it is all ready to go straight into the bread maker. We'll come back when the dough is ready. All right, so our dough is ready. It completed its first rise cycle. Now what we want to do is make a ball and then kind of turn that ball into a log because I'm going to be dividing this dough into 3. If you want a really thin crust, you could divide this dough into 4. If you want it thicker, you could divide it into 2. So what I'm going to do is divide it into 3. And 2 of these get placed off to the side. And this third one, we're going to shape into a pizza. So I have my guide marks here because I use this silicone mat. That's why I love it. So this lets me make exactly a 12-inch circle. Now I'm going to have to re-stretch it when I put it on the pizza pan because it will tighten up. This just gives me a place to put it for a few minutes so that it relaxes. Because that's the thing with pizza dough. If I take it and throw it on the pan right now, it'll shrink up because it won't have time for the dough to relax. So I actually press it beyond my 12-inch line. And I'm going to give it about 5 minutes to relax before we continue on making pizza. I'm not going to make you watch that entire 5 minutes of a dough doing nothing. So we'll be back in a few minutes. So our dough is done relaxing, which is excellent. I'm just going to move the camera so you can see where we're going to be moving the dough to. First off, this is our awesome pizza cooker. You'll see in a little bit how it works. It was a gift from my father. It has elements on the top and bottom. This is the pizza pan. So we're just going to get our camera situated, and then we're just going to move our dough onto our pan. I do not coat the pan with anything. It's got all these nice air bubbles underneath it. It actually makes a wonderful pizza. So I press the dough down into the pan so it gets in those crevices. I don't press too hard. You don't want to take all the air bubbles out of your dough. You do want some air bubbles in your pizza. So we're just going to push that nice and wide. Kind of even out your dough if you have spots where it's a little thinner. It's not really that big a deal if it's mostly even, you're fine. So then what I like to do to make our pizza crust delicious is I have a mixture here. This is about 2 tablespoons of butter, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and about half a teaspoon of parsley. We're just going to go around the edge and dip that on the edge. We're not going to do the whole pizza, we're just doing the edge of the pizza. Okay, so we just just garlic, parsley, butter. Then what we're going to do, Parmesan cheese is about a 1/4 cup. We're going to take that and we're just going to go around the edge. Just light. This is reminiscent of making breadsticks, honestly. You want the crust to taste like a breadstick. Then the next thing we're going to do is pizza sauce. You can use any kind of sauce you like. You can use a marinara. I'm just using a squeeze bottle sauce right now because this is a pizza for my son and he likes this particular sauce. But you can do anything you like. Personally, I like to use a butter chicken sauce. You do not have to use tomato sauce. You can use a barbecue sauce, you can use a ranch, whatever comes into your head. It doesn't really matter, just something to put the cheese on. Because you do want cheese, I'm sure. Unless you don't like cheese, you can skip the cheese. You can put whatever you like on your pizza. This pizza is just going to be a pepperoni and cheese pizza because that's what my younger son likes. He likes pepperoni. So we're going to get our cheese. Don't drown, sorry about knocking the camera. Don't drown your pizza in cheese. Too much cheese and it just ends up kind of a mess. Now, I love cheese, but one of the very few times I will say there's possibility of too much cheese is on a pizza. In fact, when I eat pizza, I eat just cheese pizza. But if you get carried away with the cheese, your crust doesn't really cook properly. So gently with the cheese. So you should not completely cover your sauce. You should still be able to see the sauce through the cheese at this stage. So like I said, this is going to be a pepperoni pizza. So I chop my pepperoni right now because it makes it a little easier this time. Also because I didn't have as much pepperoni as I wanted. So I just take the pepperoni. You can put as much or as little as you want. Maybe you want some peppers, some mushrooms. Doesn't matter. Whatever you like. There is no right or wrong on a pizza crust. So you just add whatever toppings you want. Add however much you want. But just bear in mind, too many toppings and you could end up with a pizza that just doesn't really cook properly on the bottom because it's just too heavy. Which is fine if you're going for a Chicago style or a real deep dish. But these are kind of a mid-range pizza, so less is more. Also, to give it a little bit of color, we are going to put a little parsley on top. That's how it looks. So we have this cloth here for a reason. It's because the bottom of the pan is not even because it has a little spike. So we're going to go over here, insert this onto the machine, and I will plug it in. See, it starts to rotate. It has a top and a bottom element to cook your pizza. So I have it set to both top and bottom element should come on. I rotate this to about the 20-minute mark, and we're just going to watch some pizza cook. So I have sped up the video here in this section simply because this takes a total of 20 minutes, give or take, and I didn't want an entire video just to be a pizza spinning in circles. Though I certainly can make videos of pizzas just spinning in circles. But this is a fascinating process to watch, and usually when I'm cooking pizza, there is somebody somewhere in the house standing around staring at the pizza cooker. It smells even better than it looks, and if you watch the cooking process, watch the cheese brown, watch the crust turn, it's just a great, great time at our house. Yes, pizza night is one of the most exciting at our house because everybody absolutely loves it. Now, if you want to get a pizza cooker like this yourself, you can get one on Amazon. That's where I think my father got this one for me. Check reviews carefully because not all brands are created equal. So make sure people are enjoying the product they have before you purchase one yourself. We have not had any problems. We've had this for almost a year now, and we make pizza on a weekly basis. So you'll see the pizza at this point is almost finished cooking, and yes, I'm pacing around the kitchen, and occasionally you'll see one of my sons and even my sister stop to stare at the pizza as it cooks. You'll see it's almost finished now. It's within the last few minutes of cooking, and we absolutely adore this. I hope you enjoy making pizzas as much as we do. So how is that for a perfectly cooked pizza? At this point, you remove it from the pan, let it cool a full 5 minutes before slicing, and then enjoy. Come back again for more baking and plenty more about our animals. Bye-bye.